you are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, a person that you don't even know, a person that lives on the other freaking side of the world. You have never seen this person before. You don't know anything about this person, how this person feels, what this person is doing. You just see something online and then you compare yourself to this person.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today, and it is titled, Suddenly I Am 30 and I Am Still Single. And this is from this woman right here. I haven't seen her videos before. We're just going to be jumping in and seeing what she has to say. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's take a listen.
Suddenly I'm 30. 30 years old. Where did time go? When it comes to being 30, there are a lot of things that I'm thinking of right now. There's a lot of pressure to figure things out, to settle down, to buy a house, to think about kids, to think about finding someone, finding the love of my life and getting married. Like, there are so many things, but the truth is, like, at least for me, at least in my life, I don't have any of these things. I don't have a house now. I don't even know where I want to live. It's very complicated. It's very confusing. I don't know where home is. I don't know if I want to have kids. I know there's this biological clock and I'm a bit afraid of it. I'm a bit scared, but I really don't know. Right now, I don't want to have kids.
Let me just say, I always find it funny, guys, how women will hit 30 and then only start to seriously be considering their biological clock. And only now are they starting to think about, you know, settling down, having a family, creating a home, and so on. Like, this happens for them at 30 years of age, or as they push into their 30s. And I really want to stress, okay, the reason why I don't feel sorry for women like this is because they could have had it all. You know, let's cut the nonsense here. These women who hit 30 one day and they're like, oh, crap, maybe I should have a family. I mean, these women could have had their family, you know, family and marriage done by the time they were 24, 23, if they really wanted to. Okay, so this is something that is afforded to women, but they only start to seriously consider or stress about these things when they hit 30 or when they go into their 30s.
So I don't even know if it's in 3 years, if it's in 5 years. I really don't know. In so many areas right now, I feel behind. I feel behind in life, and I'm sure many of you can relate. There are two reasons, I think, why a lot of us feel behind in life. And the first thing that I want to talk about today is this social clock, this timeline that society gives us, especially for women in our 30s. Like, we have so much pressure to fit into this perfect role or to adapt to this timeline that society gives us. But let me tell you, it's not possible for all of us.
Okay, let me just stop it here. If she's referring to the social timeline of having a family, for example, this is not a social construct. This is biology. I think that's what she's referring to here. But this isn't something where society is trying to convince you to have kids before you're 35 years of age. This is actually your body trying to convince you to have this sorted out. A lot of these things that people say are a result of society trying to condition us is really just biology and common sense, you know? Like, again, this is something that women struggle with as they go into their 30s. You cannot have kids forever. Your ability to attract the men that you want, the highest tier of men that you're capable of attracting, this goes down over time. Now, I don't say that to roast women. I don't say that to demean women. That's what we like to call reality. It's not these things are not typically social constructs, okay? Now, granted, society has lied to women and said that, hey, you can do absolutely everything, but typically they can't. This is actually some feminist nonsense that screws over women. Trying to do the career, trying to do the family, trying to do all of it, you're probably not going to be able to do everything. But, you know, I would have thought that would be fairly obvious, but here we are at 30 years of age.
Because we all are so individual, we all are so different. And also, this timeline is from like years ago. Like, it's from like 50 or 100 or I don't know, like it's from ages ago, and I don't even know who made this timeline. I really don't know. Because who said that we have to be married by a certain age? if I want to get married by the age of like 75 or 80, then please let me do it. And I think it's super cool if you don't have this like time limit for anything in life.
So here's the thing: there is a time limit to certain things in life. That's what people are saying. You know, and again, this is reality. And you can go out there and you can get married at 75 if you want to, sure. But a couple of notes on that. Number one, people typically get married at least in part to solidify their family units and so on. But if you're not going to be pumping out kids at 75, let me just say that. So that's first of all. Second of all, by the time you're 75, again, the type of man that you can attract at 75 is likely going to be a very different quality of man that you can attract, at the age of 30 and before 30. So you can go out there, you can completely ignore society's timeline, quote unquote, if that's what you want to do. But again, that comes with reality checks. The reason why there is this quote unquote timeline is because it used to adhere to some degree of common sense, some degree of biology, some degree of trying to make the best possible life for your kids, trying to choose the best possible man for you and those children, and so on. Let's continue.
The only thing, yes, with kids, that is something we as women, we can't ignore. Like, there will be one point in our lives when we can't get kids anymore, and then it might be too late, and then maybe one day we regret it. But also, I'm now 30, and I really don't, at this point, like right now, in this moment, I don't want to think about it. I don't have the right partner for it, and I'm not even ready for it. Like, not even if I would have the right partner, if I would be in a relationship, I wouldn't be ready for kids right now. My lifestyle, all of it doesn't make sense, and I really feel like a kid myself. I have to take care of myself first right now, and I want to fill up my cup and love myself so much that I can give so much love to someone else. So yeah, I'm not ready, and I really don't want to stress every single day like my mom does. Honestly, when she calls me every single day, the first question is, oh my God, Anna, do you have any kind of relationship updates? And then I tell her about someone I met, but it's more like, right now I just want to have fun. I just want to have like hookups and have fun, and I tell her those kind of stories, and she's just like, Anna, you have to find someone, you have to find the one, and you really have to think about settling and building a family.
That's crazy. Guys, imagine your mother calls you, and your response, especially as a woman, is like, yeah, I'm 30, but I'm not looking to settle down right now. I would just rather, have my hookups and have fun. That is such a crazy thing to say to your own mother. And I think it's a really, really sad state of affairs, personally. Now, this woman doesn't have to have kids if she doesn't want to. I don't particularly care whether or not these women have kids, but I do think it's a pretty sad state of affairs. So this woman's mother is like, man, I'm kind of hoping I'll have grandchildren. I hope that my daughter will be biologically successful in terms of continuing our bloodline and our family. And the daughter's like, nah, I want a few more years to screw around, and I'm just doing myself right now. I'm just trying to fill up my own cup. That is funny, and very sad at the same time. Holy hell. So let me get this straight. This woman wants to have hookups, and she wants to fill up her own cup so that she can have more in her cup to give to other people. Imagine trying to pitch that to your future boyfriend. You're like 35 and you're ready to settle down now, and you're like, yeah, the reason why I didn't settle down sooner was because I wanted to get a lot of practice in filling up my cup with other dudes. That is bonkers. That is crazy.
It is so stressful, and I think the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm like telling her to stop, because it puts a lot of pressure on me, and it's so unnecessary. And I think I'm never too old for anything. And this is also the message of this video. If you feel behind, and if you feel with some things in your life like you're too old to change, you're too old to find the love of your life, you're too old to marry, like, fuck that. Honestly, who set these timelines? Who set that? And I don't care if my mom grew up like this or if my grandma grew up like this. Like, women are getting pregnant way later than like my mom's generation. Also, a lot of things have just changed. So I think these timelines that our parents talk about, they're just not existing anymore. They are just, in my opinion, they are bullshit. Timelines are really bullshit, and they're just so stressful, and they put too much pressure on us that's just not needed.
That is crazy to me, man. Okay, so timelines are BS. They're just made up by society. You have all the time in the world to find your Prince Charming and get married and have kids if you want to. Yeah, first of all, that's not reality. Second of all, I feel sorry for this woman's mother in this situation, probably father too. I hope the father is in the picture. I don't know. I don't particularly know this woman. But also, this is, again, this woman's probably not going to care, and many of these women simply do not care. But from a male's perspective, this is actually deeply insulting, guys. Like, imagine, you have all of these women out here who never want you, never cared about you, never wanted to have anything long term. But, then they start hitting 30 and 35, and now they're like, okay, now I'm ready to have something serious. It's such an insult to men, because all of these women who are sitting here saying, I don't believe in a timeline, I can do what I want. Eventually down the line, a lot of them say, okay, I'm ready for something serious now. And we as the men, we're supposed to step up and we're supposed to pay some 35-year-old woman's bills who doesn't want to have kids, who's got a whole bunch of baggage from random guys, who can't pair bond properly, whose rates of infidelity are going to be incredibly higher. We're supposed to provide for that later on. Like it's crazy. And many of these women will say, oh, you don't have to provide for me. This is what they come to expect when they hit 35 and 30 plus. Okay, let's be real honest about it, guys. These women who, hit you up with those hey stranger texts, they're usually looking for a provider man to take care of them. And me personally, I think this is a complete scam. And this is a complete waste of time for men. This is kind of like a man being a millionaire, okay, making tons of money, highly successful, and then he blows it all on illegal substances and women, and then he goes, okay, I'm ready for a woman, a supermodel to come and cook for me now, to make me meals and look after me and mother my children. Women are going to look at that man and think that he's absolutely clueless. He wasted millions and millions of dollars, and now he wants me to cook for him and to, have children with him and so on. Women would look at that man and be like, that is completely ridiculous. But this is essentially the deal in reverse for men. And it's insane.
Just, in my opinion, they are bullshit. Timelines are really bullshit, and they're just so stressful, and they put too much pressure on us that's just not needed. It's for people in their 20s. It's for people in their 30s, in their 40s. For every single decade, for every single age, there are certain things that we should have accomplished. I'm just thinking of my younger self. I remember when everyone was expecting me that by a certain age I should be done with my studies. I should know exactly what I want to do. I should have figured out everything that I want to do for the rest of my life when it comes to my career. This was the craziest time in my life because back then I had no idea what I want to do with my life. If you don't know what you want, you don't have to have everything figured out by now.
Let me just stop this here and say I strongly disagree with this as well. Like I'm so sick of hearing this. Oh, guys, don't worry. If you're behind in life, it doesn't matter. You can always figure out what you want to do. Like this is something that's afforded to women typically more than men, but like, no, I think this is fairly unacceptable. If I had a son or a daughter and they came to me and started saying crap like this, I'd be like, you have to be doing something. You've got to have something figured out. If I had a son or a daughter who came to me and said something like this at like 27, 28, 29, I would feel like a failure of a parent, especially if it was a son. Okay, what do you mean you don't know what you're doing with your life? You're pushing 30, my man. Okay, I would feel like a failed parent if my offspring came to me and said some nonsense like that. Oh, don't worry, guys, these timelines, it's all good. Hey, it doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing. It actually does. Okay, get your backside into gear. We have, you got things to do, bills to pay, house to get. Come on now, what is this?
You don't have to have everything figured out. No. So if you don't, please don't freak out, don't panic. And it's also not too late if you have figured it out in like 5 years or 10 years. It's not too late. This is also something I really want to talk about in this video, it's never too late. It's never too late to change yourself, to change your career path, to change what you want to do, to change who you want to become or who you want to be. It is never too late. And
I have so many disagreements I can make right there, but I'm just going to let the video continue playing.
second reason why you might feel you're behind in life is comparison. We've never been in those times where it was so easy to compare yourself to so many people. When I grew up, we haven't had social media, so I was only comparing myself to other people in my school or to other people from my village. I didn't know much about like people from the other side of the world. But nowadays, today, it's so easy that you compare yourself to someone who lives on the other side of the world, and also you are comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. A person that you don't even know. A person that lives on the other freaking side of the world. You have never seen this person before. You don't know anything about this person, how this person feels, what this person is doing. You just see something online and then you compare yourself to this person. I'm sure you also have seen like 18-year-olds being super successful. They already have accomplished everything. And then I'm here sitting, I'm seeing this by the age of like 30. I'm like, whoa, I don't have any of these things. This 18-year-old boy, this 18-year-old dude has so many more things than I will ever have probably. But this is just something I see online. I don't even know if it's true.
Okay, so first of all, usually these 18-year-old dudes that are flexing with Lamborghinis, usually it's complete nonsense and they're trying to sell you some course. So let's just get that out of the way first of all. Second of all, I don't know why you're concerned with what some 18-year-old dude has on Instagram. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Again, these people, like, this is not a very good lens to view life through, in my opinion. And third of all, if it affects you that much, you shouldn't be on your phone that much. Like, if you don't take something like that as perhaps inspiration, I just wouldn't be looking at it. If it's something that really bothers you, you should probably not be on these applications, in my opinion. Let's continue.
And I can really not compare myself to this person. You don't know the family background of these kids. You don't know anything. So it really doesn't make sense if you compare yourself to others. I don't know why we have to keep reminding ourselves that all of this, what we see online, it is really just a highlight reel, first of all. It's not the whole truth. It's not the full story. No one wants to show, no one wants to show when they failed. Like, no one shares those kind of things. They always just share their wins. They always just share what they have accomplished, all their things they have done. So we really shouldn't compare ourselves, not to others, and especially not to others online on social media. You are not behind.
Oh my goodness.
You're also not ahead. You are exactly where you need to be. Here.
Oh my goodness. Guys, don't worry. You're not behind. You're not ahead. You're in some middle ground, and oops, we're not in reality anymore. I never understand. Look, I'm not trying to roast this woman. I'm genuinely not trying to make fun of her. But people who think like this just absolutely boggle my mind, you know? They're just like, yeah, don't stress about anything. You're not behind in life. It's never too late to change who you are. And just by the way, on that point, some of the decisions that you make throughout your life, they're not actually reversible, and they will permanently change how people see you. For example, when you were talking to your mother, when this woman was talking to her mother earlier on in the video, saying that she just wants to continue having hookups and have her fun, this is not something that people are going to change their perception about you on. If you pull up to some 35-year-old guy, 38-year-old guy when you're 35, and you tell him this, it doesn't matter if you're a changed and healed person now, this is still highly relevant. I just, for lack of a better word, guys, I just really do not resonate with what is happening in this particular video. Whenever I see adults, like, to me, this is the viewpoint of a child. This is the viewpoint of someone who perhaps doesn't live in reality, And I don't really mess with that personally.
Right now, in this moment, and I want to encourage you that change is possible every single day. And I want to share one story with you from one of my closest friends. She is in a job that she doesn't like. So since years, she's just complaining. Every single time she tells me something about, I don't like my job, I really want to quit, but I just don't know how. And Now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna kick your ass right now because it gets really annoying. Please just do it. So every single voice message is about how she wants to change her role, how she wants to change her job, like how she wants to quit at this company and start something completely different. But I see a few things when it comes to her, and I think maybe a lot of you can relate. First of all, she's so afraid to do it, and I think she doesn't really know how to start. She doesn't know where to start. She doesn't know what to do. And it's this big thing that she sees. She sees just like, okay, I'm gonna quit here and I'm gonna start this new thing immediately. So she sees this big goal without breaking it down into smaller steps. This is one of the most important things that we all have to do. If we wanna make such a crazy change, we have to do tiny little small steps and then we will get there. She doesn't have to quit immediately, but she has to do one tiny little step today to get closer to this big goal, to this new thing that she wants to do. Like, it's something new that she has to learn. So I think that is one of the reasons why she feels like she's not good enough. She's not an expert. She can't just do this new thing, but she can learn it. She can learn it, and she's not too old. Holy, like, she's also 30 years old. She's not too old to learn something new. So I'm like, okay, girl, to one of my best friends, I'm like, okay, girl, just learn about it right now. This is the first step that you can already take, and then one thing will lead to the next thing and to the next thing, and then she will accomplish this big goal.
Okay, I've got to pause it here because this inspirational music is getting a little bit too crazy for me. I don't really know how we've deviated in this video to now talking about this woman's friend and her career. Again, this sounds like another 30-year-old woman who's pursuing the career, probably doesn't also have a family and so on. You know, I wish these women all the best, guys. I truly do. But you know, we'll check back in 10 years, maybe we'll see how things are going with this particular woman. And usually a lot of women who have the same stances as this woman in this video, the stress doesn't go away. Okay, the existential dread, excuse me, the concern, the pressure that supposedly the mother is putting on this woman here, these things don't go away. They tend to compound over time. And from what I've seen, when women, especially as they hit their 35-plus-year mark and they don't have children, a lot of them are not really happy, and cats don't really cut it. So we will see how this woman goes. Bit of an interesting one. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.